All right, guys, and we're live.
All right, distasteful departure. Now, we were talking about your Asian roommate's dog named Delicacy. Remember?
Delicacy.
Yeah.
So he has acquired another dog,
Oh,
but
so you live with two dogs. Joseph Wonko lives with two dogs.
So my apartment is the bottom level of this guy's house. So it's a separate apartment with its own bathroom and living room and all that, right? Because rent here is super expensive. Like a 1-bedroom, 750 square foot, nice apartment is about I don't know, $1,500 to $1,800 a month.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
For and 750 square feet is on the big side. A lot of them are like around 500.
That's not that much different than here, though. It's pretty bad
it's pretty
here.
expensive here.
Yeah, and so to get like a house like you have, Blake, would be about $2,800 a month here.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
So
nice.
yeah, it's crazy. So anyways, so I rent the basement level apartment of this place, and so the dogs are upstairs, and he's got the one dog which is like a border collie. That's Tofu, or Delicacy. And I swear,
his name is really Tofu. Is his name Tofu?
Swear to God.
Are you shitting?
I think the other dog's
awesome.
name is Lunch. I swear. And he might just be trying to be funny, because of the whole Vietnamese thing or whatever.
He's just embracing it.
I've only heard him call the dog's name twice, and I'm pretty sure it's Lunch.
That's fucking awesome, actually. I kind of want to meet your roommate, dude.
Tofu and Lunch.
Yeah,
Those are my dogs.
I've been living there since December 1st, right?
Uh-huh.
I've seen him 5 times.
Really?
And 3 of those times have been in the last week. Like, weather was super bad here, so he was working from home. He does some kind of he works for
He procures meat.
QBC or something like that. He works for some big East Coast bank, and he does all the Vietnamese relations for this big bank on the East Coast. So he starts working at like 5 a.m. and so I wake up at 5 a.m. because he's like yelling in Vietnamese at these people whenever he like works from his home office.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's yelling or if that's how they just talk. I mean, some cultures just talk
what time is
like
in
that.
Vietnam at 5 a.m. Mountain time?
Yeah, no shit, huh? That's probably like prime business time.
Yeah.
Over there.
Well, it's been like 2 months since we've put anything down.
It has
Paco
been.
still had 2 eyeballs.
I feel like it's Blake's fault.
Yeah, it's definitely my fault.
Yeah.
But last time we recorded, you had 2 eyes.
I had 2
and
eyes.
I had 0 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now one of my eyes turned into one of your kids.
That's how it happens.
So that averages
I always
out to
wondered.
one extra eyeball.
Yeah.
So your kid doesn't need 2 healthy eyeballs, right?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
got.
can I have one of those back now?
Yeah, right.
Hey,
That's funny. I'll ask
speaking
him.
of eyeballs, Dave, I thought you were supposed to have a prosthetic by now.
March 9th, I see the doctor, and then she'll tell me whether or not it's healed enough to get the prosthetic.
What is the shape of a prosthetic eye? Oh, it's just like what you have in there right now?
Oh, you have something on there already?
Yeah, he's got like a little. It's like a bottle
spacer.
cap.
So you gotta have a spacer.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha. It's
So-
like a giant
It's like a big
contact.
fat contact lens. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Would
a
you
big
just
plastic
pull out?
Big plastic piece.
Why is it so wet? Is it
If you
wet
hold it
in
up
there all
to
the
that
time?
one, Joe can see you.
I still
Oh,
lubricates
yeah.
itself.
Look at that. You got a tear.
I still get
Open,
sad.
open your hole.
Paco's still moist, just if anybody cared.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Open your
Is-
hole.
Is it all healed up? It's not painful anymore?
Friends like you guys.
It's not really painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just said I was like, we're not going to be able to be as dark as we normally are with Greg here.
Yeah. I can see it really stop.
Yeah, we will. I warned him.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna
Let's
adjust.
get what we end up talking about.
So,
Too much adjust.
Too much, take it back. Anyway,
the other
so
big change in this whole process is that you're supposed to be able to have a prosthetic that moves around in there, like
Yeah,
it
it will.
follows your regular eye.
yeah, it was to an extent. So this actually already does. If you pay attention, if I took the patch off and looked around, you could see that the prosthetic, the silicone ball that's in there now does, because they attached my muscles to it when they did the surgery and put it in. This thing just lays over the top and then moves.
So have you noticed any muscle memory stuff with that side that people that like lose an appendage anywhere else would
No,
normally
like
feel?
I don't have like ghost pains or anything like that.
Weird.
I've found myself doing stuff and like realizing things that I hadn't thought of before. So I was at Walmart with Jillian and we were shopping for just random stuff that we needed. and I mentioned that I don't have a gun in the house, and Dad, I don't know if you.
Oh my gosh, you
Dad's
got a gun.
I've had a gun in my house since I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
This is like the first time ever I
This
been
is
around.
news to me.
There's always been a gun.
And you're like, now that this is Trump's America, I'm pretty sure they just give you guns when you walk into Walmart.
So
So
here's what happened: is I was thinking about it, and I was like, when I have a few extra $100, I'd like to get another gun for the house, especially now with Jillian there. When there's a girl who's there by herself in that creepy place next to the bus.
I don't know if I'd give Jillian a gun.
But anyway,
I don't know if I'd give Jillian a gun.
Yeah.
I have a gun in the house. But
Lisa
what I-
has a gun.
But what I realized is, I sight with my right eye.
oh, yeah, because you're right-handed.
Yeah. So I was like, wait a second. Oh, weird.
You know, though,
You need a left-handed
my
gun.
I need a shotgun.
my grandpa,
Because he's
who
point and shoot.
who taught me how to like shoot, how to handle a gun and stuff, he was right-handed, but he sighted with his left eye, so he would always use his left
It'd be
eye.
something new to learn.
Left-handed people got to hold them that way because the exchange or the cartridge comes out.
Yeah,
one side.
exactly.
You hold it the other way and shoot yourself in the face with the cartridges as they come out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So do you have to get a left-handed gun then and
Yeah, they
I could
exchange out
but-
the other side.
But no, but I mean, it's just great, like a shotgun, widespread. You know, just somewhere general direction.
Something you can fire from the hip.
It's home defense weapon, so it's general direction weapon.
Maybe just a
Something-
sign that
something to
says
scare 'em.
gun owner.
Bus
Yeah,
folk
put a
not,
gun
not
owner
welcome
sign on
here.
the front door. I think that'd
You
do it.
load it with buckshot, and if they don't. 2 rounds of buckshot and then a slug. If the first 2 rounds of buckshot don't turn them around, then you put them down.
He's got the shit
Wait.
planned out already. It's technically
Is there
premeditated
some
murder
reason
now.
you think
'Cause-
you're
Yeah, exactly.
What's up?
Has Ben gone to hell that much in the last 3 months that I've been gone?
Ever since you left.
Ben's a
The butt-
dangerous ghetto man.
The bus hub has gotten way more violent since you left.
They say there's always talk of the brown guy that used to keep the peace at the bus station. We never knew that was you.
That brown guy that was always screaming, "I'm not Mexican."
See the screen
The
move.
screen
Yeah,
just
just-
dropped on him. That's all right.
So I sent off my ancestry results. Did I tell you guys about that?
Oh yeah, did you get results back?
You're
So,
Mexican.
How did you
I
end
just
up?
sent mine off the other day, but my sister
Oh.
sent hers off.
And,
Oh, okay.
and you guys are
And,
Mexican, full blood.
How black
What's
are
that?
you?
You're full-blooded Mexicans.
Yeah, 100%. It turns out I'm only mixed with other
When you
blacks.
when you opened your results, it was all. Da, 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 da.
That's a good line. About being a comedian.
So what was the
So
result?
Christina got hers, which I'm assuming is my full-blooded sister.
Assuming.
Let me see if I can pull this up real quick and share it with you guys. I don't know if I could put it on screen, but
This is Christina's results. Yeah.
yeah, these are
Okay.
The
Christina's.
first thing
but,
it says is you definitely don't have any full-blooded brothers.
Yeah.
Oh no,
so
wrong page.
the way she told me is that it could vary by different people.
Who did you use? Did you go Ancestry or 23andMe?
Ancestry. So 23andMe has like some different values to it, but
Yeah.
Ancestry has the biggest database right now, so they'll cross-reference like my results with other people's similar results, and you may be able
Sure.
to find.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just because it's most popular.
No,
but,
you like swab the inside of your mouth.
Saliva.
Yeah.
So
Dave, do you want to know who your father was?
I gotta guess.
I'm your father.
I can't see anything.
that
It
just
just
white
says.
out?
It just
Yeah,
says
it's
Chris.
just white
Yeah.
out.
It just says your sister's name and social security number. Oh, is that bank account info?
Ethnicity estimate.
India,
Asia South.
Pakistan.
Yeah.
India, Pakistan.
Duke.
Ah, dude.
Oh, wow.
Well,
I
no,
believe that.
you know, don't tell anybody else because it'll be harder for you to get on an airplane.
That's for sure. Don't use that T word. Don't-
Yeah.
Yeah, don't say that.
I got a
No.
job offer for the IT department all of a sudden in a call center.
That Joe Wanko guy, heard he's a Taliban sympathizer.
David, you think it's hard for you to get on an airplane or get across the...
He's got that TSA fast pass or whatever. They're gonna take that shit
that's
away.
pretty handy. So that one's become so popular now that last time I got in line for it, Like the regular line had 7 people in
Yeah.
it, and the fast pass line had like 30.
Yeah,
I got the
that's
regular-
what somebody else told me too. They were like, "Don't do it. It's not worth it." They're like, "Everybody else did it."
Plus,
Now
from
it's the
here,
same.
we have to. I think Seattle's the closest place we can go to even
yeah,
get
that actually has a
the
hub.
interview
yeah.
done. Yeah.
Yeah. So you could do it as you're flying through there. When I did mine, my appointment was originally for Seattle, but I was flying through Orlando, and so they have like you can make an appointment or you could just do a walk up.
I don't know.
So I just did the
popcorn
walk
games?
up, and it took 15 minutes, and I was
Yeah,
done.
popcorn.
Lagunitas.
You
Sorry.
know where Lagunitas is.
We are listening to you.
And then
Blake's
in the
not.
second drawer down, there's a.
So
there's a
they did a retina scan and a fingerprint scan, and then they do a big background check.
They do a retina scan too.
Yeah.
Weird.
Both eyes.
Thank you.
We should probably get an update on how you're doing. I mean, obviously.
Oh yeah,
you're
we
high
used to
flow,
always
but-
start out with a cancer corner.
Yeah.
We should have started again with a cancer corner.
Well, I'd like to say that I got my passport and I'm not wearing an eye patch,
Oh, nice.
and I got my driver's license and I am wearing an eye patch.
Oh, so that's gonna be a pain in the ass, right?
No.
No?
It's nothing. It's just that we didn't know when we were sending it. Nobody knew
Sure,
the answer
sure,
when we were
sure.
sending it into the passport people. Did they want the eye patch or no? Because I don't have an eye there, and it was right after my surgery, so it was all bruised up.
Oh yeah.
So my passport picture looks like I just got punched and somebody punched my eye out.
Oh shit.
Oh, okay.
But
Alright.
you know, whatever, as long as it works.
Yeah.
Where's your first trip?
I don't know yet. I want to go to Canada.
You want to go to Canada? You know what's crazy is like Canada and Australia are the two hardest countries to get into. It's hard to get into Canada with a DUI.
No, you know what I
Yeah.
found out? The hardest thing is they're going to assume I'm there to abuse their medical system.
Yeah, exactly. That's true too.
They're gonna
Anybody who's sick, with like sick like him, to go into Canada, they discriminate against you. They
They
think
assume.
that you're up
Yeah.
there to try to abuse their healthcare
So
system.
I have to convince them that I'm there for a reason. This is what I'm here for. This is my doctor's here. This is why I'm not here for your medical system. I'm here for these few days and then I'm leaving.
Wait. So let me get this right. They don't want people to come into their country and suck off of their systems.
Listen, Joe Trump, we're gonna try to keep the political leanings out of this.
No.
All right.
Part of the reason why I am insured the way I am is because we don't know if Trump's going to want me dead by January 1st. So it wasn't a safe bet to just get health plan Obamacare coverage because it could all be canceled by the January 1st, and then I could be on my shit out of luck.
That's
Who
true.
are you covered through right now? Through your work still?
Cobra.
Oh, Cobra. Okay.
So how long does that last?
My Cobra coverage lasts it just got an extension for like another year.
But
so
doesn't it
2.5
get like
years.
super expensive?
It's the same as it's out of pocket what I was paying.
What you would pay through
If I
the
was
through the
working.
marketplace?
If I was working.
Oh, while you were working, huh?
It's the exact same coverage I had from St. Charles.
And the same pay out of pocket? Holy shit!
I think
It's a
that's
lot.
the protection. Is it's supposed to keep you at the similar
Exactly,
same
exactly.
coverage.
We
same
just
coverage.
I fired when I fired Kerry.
Yeah.
He went and used his Cobra, and his wife was just telling me the other day that they're like, we can't afford to keep paying for that Cobra
No, it's super expensive.
because it's so expensive.
I'm not paying for it. Mom's paying for it. Mom said she's
But it's the same coverage, is what you're saying.
yeah,
Okay.
super expensive.
Yeah, but it gets really expensive to
It's
pay for.
literally 10 times market what I would pay
Because
for in the marketplace.
say your work, like we pay 75%.
Right.
When you stay on Cobra, no longer is your workplace paying that 75%.
You pay
So
100%.
so you're
the
paying
entire amount.
yeah.
But the insurance.
But-
So I thought
Right.
that you only got it for like 18 months or something like that.
There is a
You
there
do,
is a
but
time
I
limit
got
on it.
I got an extension for terminal illness stuff.
Hey, did you have Aflac?
No, I wish.
Aflac.
I'd be rich right now. if I had Aflac.
Dude, you would have cashed out.
Yeah.
Well, you had some kind of coverage that, like, when you were out last time, you were getting paid a percentage of your pay, weren't you?
I still am. I mean, I'm getting 100% of what Medicare could pay me, or what the Social Security disability benefits could be.
Right.
1,300 of that from the federal government, and then 600 more from my insurance through work.
Before that, though, weren't you getting like what 60% of whatever your
Yeah.
hourly was at St. Charles? Okay.
I'm getting more than that, but definitely less than what I would.
Well,
More than that? I don't
I'm
know.
still super curious about this thing.
We'll
you're
get to
gonna
that.
talk us about.
So how's treatment going?
Bad.
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 Okay.
I got new pains. I got fresh pains. I got pains I can't control. They've upped me back onto the fentanyl patches. When you had seen me on the weekend, you said I was all opioided out. I was, because I had just switched to a lot higher
So
dose opioids.
what I was telling him is like one of the main reasons that I was able to come do this tonight is because Holly was so upset at how sick he seemed when we went to dinner on Saturday. But it was because he was very opiated out.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I mean?
I
like
was
our
weed and
chicken.
opiates.
And I was telling her, I was like, dude, that's just like whatever pain meds he's on is
Right.
making him seem like that. But Holly was just like, it makes me remember. And anyway, you know how she gets. So anyhow,
So you're having pain. They're giving you stuff to manage it. I mean, have they gone any farther to do scans and see where it's at, like what it's doing?
Not for a few more weeks till we know if the Keytruda is working. So I got 2 more treatments before we do.
Because that's what I was curious. You've been doing the immunotherapy now for like
3 times.
you've just done it 3 times.
Yeah, there's the 16th will be 4, or the 15th.
and it's spaced out how many
3
weeks?
weeks.
3
Every
weeks.
3
weeks.
Oh, once every 3
Can
weeks.
you tell me what the immunotherapy actually is? Is it like a form of medicine that will like intensify radiation or something like that, or make it more effective?
It basically, think of it as it marks cancer cells, like flags them, so my body will attack them.
I view it as Star Trek.
Yeah.
That cancer, the horror of cancer is it cloaks itself, and so you don't know it's there, and the body doesn't attack it, and this uncloaks it, or that's
Yeah.
the theory.
This was like a very, very experimental thing, just a short time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all very new treatments. It basically what it does is it makes your body attack the cancer itself, so you avoid all the shitty side effects of chemo, which is amazing. I mean, I still feel like shit. I still feel like I'm losing this battle right now. There's a lot bad with very little good coming out of the way I feel, and
Is any of how you feel a side effect of the immunotherapy, or is it?
yeah, probably some of it could
Okay.
be. I had some swollen feet the other day, which
It's
was
definitely changing your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
you
just
think about it.
I feel sick.
Anytime your body attacks something, an alien, you get a fever.
Sure.
You have all these.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the hope actually ends up being that that's what it is. It's not the cancer. The
Right.
cancer's
Right.
winning.
For
and
sure.
The body's not.
So that's the important appointment is in a couple weeks. You go in, they scan and
Be in
see
the middle
what
of
the
like
immunotherapy's
April.
done to your cancer.
like April, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and that's when they check and see like has this growth
Yeah, has this worked?
shrunk or
Is this,
whatever.
are we looking at recession? We're looking at growth. Or,
Okay.
Gotcha.
And what's the in the best case you just keep with Keytruda and
Yeah.
it's winning.
yeah.
If
Well,
you,
in the
if
best
it's not,
case, that actually lowers the tumor sizes in me, and that'll decrease a lot of my pain, and I'll live a more normal life. What's got me down right now, and what's got me is what you saw last weekend is I'm struggling to keep myself high enough to function, and also not be in pain all the time.
Sure.
So either I overdo it and I'm not in pain, but then I'm opioided out. And
Right.
Yeah. I'm not conversational. I'm not.
Right.
Or I'm like I am now, where I'm under medicated right now, so I'm in pain sitting here,
Sure.
but I'm functional. I can talk.
Yeah.
I know what's happening. And,
Yeah, that's a fucked up tightrope to walk, man.
yeah. And trust me, like before this is over, I'm going to take some pain pills and
Yeah.
probably be a little bit quieter towards the end of the podcast because
Yeah, you do what you got to do, man. That's pain management's important.
what would you do if the tumors aren't being
if it doesn't work, if the Keytruda is not
if
working,
it's not efficacious?
Uh,
Your new word.
Yeah, efficacious.
Efficacious.
Then we go
If
to-
it's not efficacious,
What would be
then
the
what?
next step in that case?
either chemo or experimental immunotherapies. Going up to Seattle and
How
seeing
quick-
the cancer.
How quickly
cell
can can a tumor react to something like chemo or even an experimental?
It takes a while. This one, the Keytruda, they wanted to wait 5 treatments before they even checked.
Oh, gotcha.
And that's 3 weeks. That's 15 weeks.
Yeah. 15 weeks. Yeah.
That's
before they
crazy.
check.
I feel like with the diagnosis of
So-
what you have, I'd be wanting updates every few weeks. Of,
Well, the
hey,
problem-
That's what's
looking
crazy.
like.
Is
Well,
like,
and the
you
problem is-
you
the
have to
problem is-
wait so much.
And the
yeah.
problem is if you're giving me a CT every 3 weeks, you're giving me cancer.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I've had
Sound
so
just
many
went
CT
super static.
scans in the last 2
I
years.
don't know what that was.
Yeah.
Like
It's
so
just on
many.
your side, I think.
You good, Joe?
Is it still there?
Feedback.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, we
just
hear you
fine.
just fine.
It's like super staticky on my side.
We can stop the call and restart it. We're not hearing it on our end.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're recording.
So there was actually
Alright,
just.
so-
So
You want to take a
Let's
break?
take
Go
a
ahead.
time.
Go ahead.
Now I can't.
No, no,
now I
they-
can't
I
help
saw a thing today that made me think of it. They said they're asking anybody that lives out east of like Hamby to check their like backyards and ponds and
Yeah.
if you have outbuildings or whatever.
Well, so do any of you guys know who he is? Brian Penner?
No, my brother does, I guess.
I
Okay,
know.
so I know who he is. I don't know him, but I know who he is, and I always knew him as a tweaker. Like he was
Kinda
just
looks
a,
like
he was a tweaker guy.
That's how I knew him.
But yeah, from what I saw today, they're asking people to check their property east of Hamby and Ward. I mean, come on. The girl hasn't been heard from for over a week.
Over a week.
She's dead.
And so they said that they arrested him because they raided his apartment and found evidence tied to her disappearance, but they're not elaborating on it.
Reese's peanut
Now,
butter cups.
I think
Oh.
you probably met that guy through Dr. Wolf, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
a car. He was a
so
Honda
I
guy.
know-
He was into like the cars and stuff too.
Yeah, that's where I knew him from back in the day was like car stuff and things like that. But he was like a real
Piece of shit.
POS. And
Yeah.
one night, like he was trying to hook up with Natalie, like back when we dated. That's how long ago I met him. And we're out at these like races or something, and he was like saying something, and I kind of blew it off, didn't think much of it, and then she told me on the car ride home. And then as soon as we broke up, like they started hanging out, and I'm like, fuck that guy. He was like, he bought some car parts from her that I gave her, and that was the last I ever heard of him. And then I saw that happen, and I'm like, holy shit, that's the same guy.
Yeah, it's probably been six years plus probably since I knew of him. I don't think I've ever even really hung out with him, but I just know who he is. Like if I saw him, I'd be like, oh, that's Brian Penner. Yeah, I know who he is. But I don't know who she is. I've never seen her before ever.
I can
Well,
tell
she's
you,
super young. She's like 24, I think.
Yeah.
we should next week or next time we record. You guys go ahead and bring your mics, and we'll do a little bit different setup because with the microphone set up like this, we're getting every background noise that's gonna be picked up on. This is gonna sound like shit while they're conversating
Oh well,
back there.
it's still fun.
And then we get Blake's burps.
All right. So before we go into, because I do want to do our normal shit where we talk about video games and stuff. I want to bring up the picture that I texted you, Joe. So so Paco and I a while back had talked about this kind of in passing, but nothing ever came of it. And recently, I can't get it out of my head that I think it's just a great idea.
Okay.
Now, do you have any tattoos?
I don't.
Do you have any tattoos, Joe? I don't either.
Nope.
I know he does.
Yep. I was there when you got your first one.
But
That's awesome.
yeah, you got your first tattoo as a grown ass man, which is pretty rare. But I think
Oh, that's awesome.
I would like. I definitely want to do it if you're down to do it. Get a tattoo of this.
Yeah.
Let me see. Oh, that's awesome.
Do you know what this is, Joe? I know that you're not a video game guy like the rest of us.
You can show it to him on that camera.
Well,
right there.
I texted him the picture.
okay.
He has it.
Yeah,
So
I see it.
so the three triangles, that is the Triforce from Legend of Zelda, and it's been around since the Nintendo era Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, I
Now
know what that is.
this thing around it is the it's like the crest of Hyrule. But anyway, they just kind of put this together a few games back and made this one symbol that became like it's like the Legend of Zelda symbol.
Yeah.
Paco and I have talked about getting this tattoo, this exact tattoo, for like 5 years or so. We have like mentioned it here and there.
Oh,
Dude, I've always wanted to get a tattoo, but I
have
actually
too.
I have a sick ass hookup for tattoos. My employee this is all his artwork right here. I'm gonna switch the camera real quick over.
Is he a prison
So,
tattoo?
I'm gonna
tattoo
I'm gonna
artist?
switch over to where
How
they can
about-
see this.
How about
So-
a neck tattoo?
yeah.
No.
Face.
Dude.
So
Face.
he specializes in like video game style
Just like a
tattoos.
big one right here.
Yeah.
So this is him. He's my employee, but he specializes in video game style tattoos.
That's his art right
Yeah.
here?
So,
God damn, that's him?
Yeah, that's
okay,
him.
I'll totally let him tattoo
yeah.
me.
So he does really good, but I was trying to find his website. It's
Hold on. This guy works for you, James?
Yeah, he also, him and another guy have a tattoo shop right down by El Rodeo, and
Oh, okay.
but I mean,
Modeling?
like he does all these little flash ones, trying to get people to come do tattoos. Oh, these aren't even his tattoo pictures. But...
Oh, Blastoise.
So I mean, he's pretty good, and he does the like video game cartoony style.
So he's into
very
that
well.
like
Yeah.
art. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was when you first said that I was totally skeptical.
these are all
of
ones
that.
he's made, like whether digital art on the computer or tattoos that he's put on people.
Huh.
Cool. Yeah, I'm down.
So anyway, he would probably hook us up with a cheap fucking price to
Saying
get
when
tattoos
Joe's in
done
town, we
too.
all get tatted.
Yeah.
And that's really what you want out of a tattoo. You want to go price over quality.
And I
Well, no,
say-
but like he specializes in that cartoony,
Yeah. And I know
video
like
game style.
I know like
Or-
if you as far as like where you get it, I don't think it matters. Myself, I
I'm
would
gonna do
want
it
to
as a
put
big
it right
tramp
here.
stamp. Right?
Joe or James would definitely put it as a tramp stamp. But yeah, like I think right here for me is where I would want it. But I think it'd be a good idea. You and I have talked about doing that exact tattoo
Yep.
several times.
Yeah, I'll get that
That's
one.
right. I'll get the Triforce on this one. I'll get the Lotus on this one.
Oh, there you go.
I
think
want
you
David
guys
to
should
have
do
the tattoo that says "Dad."
I'll go with
With a heart and an arrow.
Do the mom one? with
No,
the dad in
no
it?
heart, no heart and an
the
arrow.
little ribbon. Yeah.
It's like a biker tattoo, but it means
Yeah.
you're gay.
Okay. See, now here's an interesting one. So, I don't know any 30-year-olds that have under 30s that have a bucket list, and so when David was confronted with this problem, he decided, I'm going to have to assemble a bucket list. Mm-hmm. You guys have any?
I don't, but we've talked about his.
You don't. So I think it would be a great little exercise for if I could do it over again. If I were 30 and I'd go, I ought to think of at least
Sure.
a couple of things.
Well,
Write
you
them
know
down.
what?
I've always had a few things on the
Have
list
you?
that
What
I
are
want
they?
to do.
The
What
one
are
thing
they?
that I have is getting a tattoo
Yeah.
because I have like almost gotten a tattoo several times, but I've never gotten one because I always was like, I don't want that on me for the rest of my life because it
Right.
doesn't mean anything to me. But Pac and I have talked about that particular tattoo so many times that it means a lot to me, and so it would definitely be worth
Will
putting it
you
on me
text
for the
that to
rest
me?
of my life.
And I'm going to send
Yeah.
it over to Corey.
Yeah.
Tell him, what do you give us for a 3 for or 4 for deal?
Can you
Does
Did it
back on
unpair
for
again?
because I want to hear Joe. He's got a sense of humor.
does Greg got any tattoos?
It's very racist.
Do you have any
No.
tattoos, Greg?
Nope.
No tattoos?
I don't believe in them because they sag. And now I'm at the other side of life, and I go, that would look like shit today.
It says you're connected. They should be working.
I could see Greg with a nice size, like,
That's a
remember the old 8-ball, like the Stussy
Oh, yeah.
8-ball, just right
Oh,
here
yeah.
on the neck.
Oh yeah, dude.
Where did he go?
That'd be so
Did it
great
turn off again?
if I had no tattoos, but I just all of a sudden decided
Oh, no,
to
I have
get
to do
like
this.
LA tattooed on my
2 seconds.
neck. And I have nothing to do with that. Oh,
Try
that'd
it
be so
now.
good.
So,
Yep.
Greg's
what makes you think that you said that you've never gotten a tattoo before because you've always thought, oh, I won't want this in a few years. What's different about this?
Because he and I have talked about it so much, and I've always thought I would never get a tattoo unless it had a much deeper meaning to me than anything that was like fleeting in the moment or even in like a long
YOLO.
moment. Sure. Yeah. No low. but that I just recently saw someone with a tattoo of that, and I was just like, holy shit! That's what he and I have talked about for so long.
For the record, he's got nothing. Everything has been too fleeting. He has a son now, but this is the tattoo he wants.
Well,
Just thinking that,
well,
man. I was just thinking.
well. The reason that it even came up is because Holly and I were talking about it, and I was like, like now with Dax here, and like I can think of several things that would have meaning behind it of me getting a tattoo. And then it was the next day I saw a girl with this tattoo on her back in front of us in line somewhere, and I was like, holy shit, that's the tattoo.
Did you introduce yourself? Did you say I must meet you?
I kissed it.
That wasn't weird at the grocery store.
I just licked it.
Shit got weird for a little while. Yeah, the cops were called. I don't
I'm
know
not, I'm not allowed at Fred Meyer anymore. You know.
Yeah, I got kicked out of Walmart. No, Walmart welcomed me back. I got kicked out of Albertsons. Yeah.
Food for less.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, grocery outlet. They're like, oh, it's Tuesday. Yeah. Anyway, size doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does.
Some people say, as far as the tattoo itself goes, but that tattoo, Dave and I have talked about it
Let's go get it.
a
tonight.
lot.
Let's do it. Right now.
I'm ready to do it like whenever.
I'll take 4 of these pain pills. We'll do it right now.
Corey will do it any day of the week after work or on weekends. So
Does he have his own? He
he has a legit studio. Yeah, there. You know where that Christian bookstore used to be, right next to El Rodeo.
Is it not?
They're in the building beside that. Like there's a whole road.
I gotta check
Super
and see
nice
if
shop.
that was the only thing. Like when I was on chemo, I wasn't.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you. Like, can you even do
I
that?
gotta ask. Chemo. They said no. So I don't know.
Huh? Yeah, find out.
But-
Find out and let me know because I'll
Alright.
go tomorrow and do it.
Alright.
That's
Bryce
how.
is pretty gangster. He might have a homemade tattoo gun.
Who?
Room.
With
Bryce.
with a motor from a Walkman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walkman motors.
Yeah.
He'll hook you up. I'll bet he's got a friend.
Yeah, paperclip, a sharpened paperclip. Yeah, dude.
The guitar string.
Oh, that's right. That's what it is. A guitar string.
So you've had your baby, and everybody doesn't know that.
That's why he's so
Oh, yeah.
skinny now.
But you've
Yeah.
also gone through 2 months of not sleeping and not hanging out with us either, you dick.
I will say that
I'm dying.
the
You don't have time for me.
well, so he's 11 weeks today.
Okay.
So the first 2 months were absolute hell. Like I didn't love him any less, but
But you
He's
thought
so
about it.
lying. He fucking hated his life.
No.
Life decisions. Was rethinking everything.
well, it was just like it's weird. It's like, you know, I always used to hate it when people would tell me you just don't get it because you don't have kids. Like that was the one thing that it just made me go like, ugh, don't fucking say that to me. But it's
true, huh?
it's fucking true, dude. Like I could be so frustrated with him. But he's just a baby, you know. He's just an infant. He's just screaming for no reason. He's screaming because he's terrified of this new world that he's in.
Right.
But at the same time, you're not sleeping. I've gone off of 3 hours sleep and then worked a 10-hour day and then came home and da da da. So yeah, it was super hard. It was like way harder than I even thought it was going to be because the first week was like easy as hell. He just slept all the time, and then all of a sudden he was like, "All right, I'm not going to sleep anymore." And I'm just gonna yell and scream and cry forever.
All right, be
So-
real. You shake him a little.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you gotta shake him. That's what you're supposed to do,
Here
right?
it quiets him down for life.
yeah.
Better than a lobotomy.
But no, he's. It's like the last week and a half or so. It's really kind of. I don't want to jinx it, but
Things are going
it's
good.
kind of leveled off to a point where I think he's kind of figuring out how to be alive and like not scream all the time.
For sure.
Holly and I are figuring out how to. Yeah, that was very impressive.
It was fucking loud through my headphones,
Yeah.
Bryce.
Bryce
Jesus,
just-
door
Bryce
closed,
just,
other
like,
room.
Blue ribbon belch from the other room.
I'm sure they heard
was
it in here.
But like just last week, I actually left work 4 hours early to go home because I was just texting with Holly and I could just tell that she was not doing well. Like things were just really hard. And the night before, I had actually woken up because during the 4 days a week that I work, Holly doesn't sleep in the bed. She sleeps in the living room with him, and I go to bed and I get my like 8 hours sleep or whatever, and I go to work the next day or
Sounds
6
rough,
hours,
man.
whatever. I know, dude. Dude, I shit you not.
So it's life, dude.
I live with guilt most of the day because I know how hard of a night that she's had. But there was this one night where I woke up in the middle of the night and because I heard him crying, and I opened the bedroom door because it was getting really close to the door and then it was going away. So I could tell Holly was walking up and down the hall, and I opened the door and she was just standing right there. She's looking at me, and she was crying just as much as he was crying. So I was like, fuck. So like I took him, I sent her to bed, and then I stayed up and with him until I had to go to work. But that day, he had just had a really bad day. Like, he had super bad gas problems. Like, I don't know. We still don't know 100% what the deal was. I think it was just he's a freaking baby and he's new to life and he doesn't know what he's doing, you know? But the one thing that I've learned as far as like right now in our like society, and breastfeeding is like a big deal, you know, again, as of the last like 5 years or so, in my opinion, from other people that I've talked to. These lactation nurses, I have learned, are not even fucking nurses. They're not.
No. They've read a book.
Yeah. And it's a cult, dude. It's a fucking cult. Like, they will tell you that you have to do this. You have to do that. So I was breastfed, I think, for 3 weeks. After that, nothing. I'm fine.
And you turned out fine.
My mom said about a month, maybe
Shut
a
up.
month and a half with me.
Yeah. So she goes to this lactation specialist once a week, or she was, and the issues that we were having, this lady was telling Holly that Dax had a tongue tie, and that he needed to have this procedure done where they slice your frenulum, which is that thing under your tongue.
Oh my goodness.
And
so you can move your tongue better.
Yeah, so it makes you be able to move your tongue better. And they said the test is open your mouth almost as wide as you can. That's very subjective. I don't know exactly what that means.
Right.
And see if you can put your tongue to the roof of your mouth. I can't. So does that mean I have a tongue tie? I don't know. So
Everybody just did it. I love it. Everybody was there.
yeah. So we kind of, Holly and I kind of battled
You
back and
can.
forth as far as like,
I'm
you
tongue-tied.
got a nice tongue, sir.
I got a very talented tongue.
Yeah, I can get all the way to the roof of my mouth.
Well,
Well, you should
I
have
can,
dates.
but-
You should get dates.
only that far. Anyway,
How is it that this guy's married?
Yeah.
With his weak ass tongue action.
I try real hard. So
You must be a really good listener.
No, Holly's got a big clit that sticks out.
James the fuck. I hope Holly never watches this. Holly, I love you. James is full of shit. So anyway, they had Holly 100% convinced that we needed to do this procedure. So she starts trying to sell me on it because I'm very against it. I'm very against doing it. I think he's probably fine. Da da da. Turns out Rowan, Seth and Ruby's kid, tongue tie, had the procedure. Carrie and Jamie, their youngest son, had the procedure, tongue tie.
Just every fucking kid so happens to have it.
Do you remember Driella?
Yeah.
Okay, so her and this guy Roberto are like getting married now. They have a kid together. Her son, tongue tie. Marcy Sims, her kid, tongue tie. I'm like, there's no fucking way, statistically,
It's in the water, man.
there is no way that all of these people that we know, all of their kids have this tongue tie bullshit.
Hold on. Let me ask you this. How do you pay for the procedure? Is it in a unmarked envelope, cash only? You slide it under a door?
Yeah. Pretty much. You have to get. It's like in the breezeway downtown. There's this hobo.
Yeah.
It's like it's playing a bucket.
Dirty Mike.
Yeah, dirty Mike and the boys. Anyway, so long story short, we decided not to do it, and our doctor examined him last week and said no. He said he may have a very slight tongue tie, but I do not think you need to go through with that procedure.
But every lactation nurse will tell you to do it.
Yeah, so this was last Friday that we went and saw Dr. Burkett, and he told us this. And I said, thank you. That's all I needed to hear. I needed to hear a guy who's gone to school for 15 years to be a doctor tell me that because he's also a dentist. He's a doctor and a dentist. I don't know if you know who he is, but he operates.
Dude, that's got to be like 15 years of school.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said that. So he told me this, and then Monday I took a half day at work and went with Holly to the lactation nurse. I was like, I want to go meet this lady and talk to her. She hates Dr. Burkett. And I think I figured out why, because he tells her patients, don't do it. Don't do the procedure. Obviously, she like has it in with this. There's only 3 people in Bend that do this procedure. Think about how many babies are born in Bend.
How many
There's only 3 doctors.
pediatricians, how many
It's collusion, man.
surgeons
Yeah,
there
it's
are.
collusion. She's
Yeah.
getting a kickback.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's getting a kickback, dude. So anyway, he's not getting his tongue sliced. He's good. He's eating. He's feeding. He's gaining weight. We're fine.
Are you guys only feeding him off the tit, or are you moving
right
it
now?
into
Yeah.
a bottle? And,
No, right now. Well, no, we are doing bottle feeding because she pumps
and you pumps and-
2 or 3 times a day. But like tonight,
Does he seem to do better with a bottle than her boob, or vice
no,
versa?
he does. He does
About the
fine
same
with either
either way?
one. Yeah, he's fine. I don't think he needs to do shit. So we're not going to do it for now, unless the only reason that we would ever do it is if he was like losing weight
Right.
or
Well,
whatever.
if he was losing weight, why wouldn't you just supplement with formula? Like, get
That's
as
the
much
other
boob
thing,
milk
is that-
as you can and use a little
That's the
formula
other
in
thing.
between.
You guys know Holly just as well as I do. You've known her for a
I just
long
know that
time.
her sister's Lindsay Hippie and probably telling
Yeah,
her
but
like,
that
you
is-
have to breastfeed till it's
Yes,
4.
but that is not Holly. Holly is ready as fuck
to be done.
to not breastfeed anymore. And I'm sitting there telling her, look, it's fine. He's gonna be fine. Stop breastfeeding. It's all about are you happy? Are you sane? Because she's going back to work April 1st.
Oh
And-
shit, that's coming up.
She's not back at work yet?
No.
Oh.
She was gonna go back to work March, I think next Monday, but we put a bunch of money in savings in like the months leading up to her taking her maternity leave, and we haven't touched it yet. So I was like, take another month off. Yeah, it's like take another month off. We're fine.
I've never done that my whole life.
So she went and had lunch. She went and had lunch with Bill and Scott and Doug, and I told her to go in there and just tell them like, here's what I want. Here's da da da. Dude, she goes to lunch with them, and they were straight up like, describe
Your
your
sound just cut.
describe. Yeah, you just like froze up. So I think
back now.
we had a buffering issue. But they told her, or Doug and Scott told her, describe your perfect scenario, and she told them, and they were like, okay, do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, she's not going back to work until April 1st, and then we found a daycare provider that we trust, and she's like super good. She's like a
Corey?
middle-aged lady. No,
Not a
No,
not a
no,
January Netherland.
no.
January.
Have you looked her up just to make sure she's legitimately registered with the state and shit like that?
Yes,
Okay,
100%. And we've like interviewed 2
Is
people
she
who have
tan?
used her before. She's middle aged. She's been doing this for like 40 years.
We're fucking middle aged
So she's
now.
really
Shut
No,
up.
we are not. We are not middle aged.
No, you're
Joe's
not.
middle aged.
Paco's older than him by 3 weeks.
That's right. Shit. Anyway, yeah, shit's
Well,
good.
I have
You
to
guys
send this
realize
to you
I'm
guys.
Not, I'm not middle aged at all. I'm at the end of my life, you guys.
Womp, womp,
Thank
womp.
So,
So Joe, you're only 3
everything
weeks
getting
from the
back
end,
to
buddy.
normal then? It's been 2 months.
What? Oh, wait. Say that again.
Everything back to normal.
I said, is everything getting back to normal? It's been
Oh.
2 months.
So, I will say that one, I am pleased that she had a C-section
It's a strange
because
thing to read
you know
at my age.
I don't have to worry about any of that.
It must be
Two,
a stranger to you.
yes.
For sure.
Three,
It starts out
it's actually
with
hard as fuck to get anything done like that to the point where I always come out on top though because we'll be like, okay, he's asleep, and then and then he starts crying.
The Middle East, but
and this is what
that
it is
doesn't
every
matter.
time she looks at me and just
But
goes,
it's
just finish.
that true, we have to
At
forget
least one of us should enjoy
and
this.
he's gonna go.
And then we high five each other and
this
that's it.
night.
So, what are the chances of making another baby right away? You guys going to go for child number 2?
Remnants. Of ourselves.
Well, okay. Here's the deal with that is because everybody wants to know that. Every fucking body says,
Drives me nuts.
when are you having another one? When's your
Try to
next
push
one?
it to the back of my mind.
I
Super
want
sad
none,
days
none
when
more.
think
I
about
don't
it.
want any more kids.
Well,
Holly
you know, I
does,
think good dads
but
end up deciding.
she only wants another one because she wants him
my
to
job
have a
isn't to be
sibling.
your friend.
Yeah.
But I think once we can get him to like 2 years old,
And
where he's
into
pretty
a successful
independent,
life, independent of
we're like
And
back
in
to
so
kind of
doing,
normal, and we can like
we
leave
end
him
up
with
kind
somebody.
of
I don't think she will. So
becoming-
because she'll
so
remember how
I watch
fucking terrible this
David
was,
and his-
right?
I mean, and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
I mean,
their
I'll,
20s, they
if
do
it came down
things
to it,
where
I would probably give her another one, but I
I'm
don't want another one.
trivialized.
I don't
Well,
want
now
another
the
one.
plus side,
I get to come
and I don't know
back
how
and
well this
be
ever
great.
really works out for the
Right.
long term, but
really
Ruby and Seth just
interesting
had a baby.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
time where
Literally
you're
like the same age.
And they are not going
And
to
if
have
you-
another one.
And if you
They are
And
not
so-
going to.
But as far as like having
and
A
I
sibling,
kind of
right,
expected
yeah.
that. I
that's the
thought
same age.
it was
That's
a-
from close family.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You know, like
That's
tight friends.
to-
You
keep
are
them
you are
out of
reading my
nest,
mind because that is the
especially
exact
if you
hustle that I'm
David's
trying to
mom,
run
she wants to
with
keep
Seth.
them in
I'm
the
trying to
nest.
have
And
Seth
I
help
go,
me with
"Oh,
that.
no.
Oh,
Get out
Because,
of
dude,
the
I
fucking
just
nest.
right.
I
Because
love
you can't
him
have-
so much,
you
but
can't
I
be
do
here
not
any
want to know.
road.
I don't want to know.
So that was
Seth?
probably
Him
part
too.
of the- why we separated.
No, dude, I
Because
just
she-
it's
no.
I wouldn't mind
you
another
know,
Seth.
and now-
This
now as a
was-
grandma,
this
it's kinda
was,
like,
Picking up two
that's-
conversations.
You know, that's
It
what
is.
When you
Yeah, there's a
get
lot.
any
We
couple,
got two
there's
conversations.
like a-
yeah.
Sorry.
yang.
No, we're having a
Yeah.
good conversation here, aside from you guys, and I know that's fucked on a podcast with one microphone because they're hearing everything. But we were, he was talking about, how your relationship is with your kids and how you go through a time. Obviously, at Greg's age, he's gone through where Paco and him probably didn't have a huge part of each other's lives because Paco's outliving his.
Sure.
And then you get a little bit older and your
Yeah.
family comes
And
back
you
into
come
your
back
life.
together, yeah.
And,
Yeah.
it's an interesting thing to think about for sure.
It is.
And then
I was always perfect and close. I never made any mistakes.
He was not hard to push out of the nest. He jumped out of the nest. Some of the others needed a little shove, but David I'm out of this nest. I know I can fly.
You left out
Bam!
head first.
Yeah, head first.
And I
Yeah.
flew.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, like realistically, I know Holly really wants him to have a sibling, and she will probably want another one in the next year or two. But
just
if
have
it's
a lot
up
of
to,
sex.
if it's up
Child.
to
Don't
me,
wear protection.
So
An
if you're-
only child is a
So,
great thing.
so if you're looking for work,
I'm looking
Were you
to
an
have
only
an
child,
only
Greg, or do
child.
you have brothers?
No, I was the middle child, just like David.
Oh, okay.
We have all kinds of
So
similarities.
if you're
We were
a-
the smartest. We were the best looking. The women just fell at our feet. The world was our oyster.
I don't know about that.
The
Well,
world.
until
As he's
world
sipping his
was
fucking
yeah,
wine.
well, until he got to until-
First world problems.
First world.
I'm dying.
White?
Fuck you.
No, no, no. It's white
Cheers,
people.
motherfucker.
It's white people problems. Joe wouldn't know.
These guys have been drinking, Joe.
Can you not hear us anymore?
Hey,
Yeah.
He can't hear us.
my headset died.
Hey, you.
He's in
I don't
Eastern
like,
Asia
I don't like
somewhere.
your girlfriend.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I don't like
Yeah.
your girlfriend.
Are you the fucking
headset
Verizon guy?
He's with Sprint now.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Can you hear him?
Can you hear this?
Which is awful by every account.
Yeah, how's Sprint, Joe?
I still have
I
Sprint.
got Sprint.
I've had Sprint for like
iPhone X.
15 years.
Dude, I had them for a long time.
I've always
until
had Sprint.
a couple of years ago.
You know what I hate the most about Sprint is you can't do anything online, use an app or anything if you're on a phone call. And
Oh,
a
yeah.
large,
Unless
a
you're
large
on
part of
Wi-Fi.
what I'm-
If you're on now,
on Wi-Fi.
yeah. If you're on Wi-Fi at your house, you can be on the phone and still do stuff online.
What are you
So,
talking about? I
pretty
do that shit all the time.
typical,
Anyway.
About
Do you have Sprint?
10 hours
Yeah.
a week or more
Yeah,
in a
Sprint.
truck driving around Denver, and then I'll be at a job site doing an
You're
inspection.
talking
or
about like
something.
looking something up on the internet while you're on a phone call? Because I do that shit all the time.
Well,
And you're on Sprint?
well,
yeah.
Did
hold
they
on.
change something?
iPhones don't have it on the 7. I have a 7, and it's not available.
You have a...
I have a 10.
Oh, you have a 10 now.
So
I'll be really
we
curious
have
about
a-
next time.
Oh, it's the Volti,
there's
probably. The
there's
Sprint
an app
Volti.
for our operating system internally, and obviously I need to go online to get to it, but it has all like our customer database and stuff. I can't access any of that while I'm on the phone,
I've
which
looked
is pretty
stuff up
common.
while I'm
Where
on the
somebody
phone
will
with
call
people.
me, they'll need some information, and I've got to hang up and do it. The other thing is navigation doesn't work, and I'm in a city where I don't know my way around.
Mm.
So if I could punch in navigation, and as long as I don't change it, it's fine.
Right.
But if anything happens while I'm on the phone, or it has to reroute, nothing happens
Huh.
Yeah.
because it has a cellular connection.
I'm, at least for my personal lines, for my dad and my daughter, I'm thinking about switching them to T-Mobile.
Yeah.
The Verizon that I have them on right now costs a fortune. And
Yeah. Verizon's so.
They have
fucking
8
expensive.
gigabytes of shared data, and they keep going over it. And so
Right.
it shuts their data off, so they have nothing for like the last 8 days of the month. It's just not worth it.
No.
And I mean, here out in DR Dub, we've got a T-Mobile tower like right here. Like I get 40 meg download speeds on T-Mobile at my house.
Yeah, that's nuts.
So
All right.
I need to know living in Denver compared to living in Bend.
I would trade it any day of the week if I could find a job paying what I make here. I growing up on the West Coast, I lived in Bay Area, California until I was like 15, and then we moved to Bend, and I loved it. It became a huge part of my life. I love the weather, I love the lifestyle, everything that Bend has to offer. And being
How
here,
accepting
it's
we
like
are to
different.
minorities.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So being here in Denver, okay, the Rocky Mountains are right there. So you're like, oh, it's gonna have tons of lakes, snow runoff, great water. Nope. The water is super mineral impacted. So like within a month, if you put like a new shower head on your shower, if you don't have a water treatment system at your house, it turns white.
Ooh.
Really weird. The water doesn't taste very good. There's like one decent lake around here, and
It's
it's
not
like a
like
2-hour drive.
it's not like bin water. That's just delicious.
Nope.
What's that town we went to, Joe, outside of
Yeah, it's
Colorado
really
Springs?
strange. And I know this sounds weird to say, but water is such a big part of life that between like activities and also drinking good quality water, I learned that traveling when I was working at Precise Flight. I would travel everywhere, and I would always be so grateful to get back to Central Oregon where we have good water, clean air. You know, like if you ever spend a week in LA and the water's terrible, the air is terrible, the traffic's terrible, it's kind of like that, but not as extreme here. The people here are really friendly, but the traffic is just, it's you want to kill yourself. It's terrible.
It's on its way to
So
Seattle.
I mean, there's great things about city life, but you can get that in any city. And truthfully, if I'm gonna live in a city for city life, the West Coast has some of the best cities.
Yeah.
And I would probably be in a city like probably Seattle or something, where you have all the great parts of city life. You have ocean life. There's plenty of fresh water around there. You know,
It would be weird
Denver's
living so
not really
far
for
away
me,
from the coast.
Yeah.
it was a change I definitely needed in life. So I said, I'll do this for a year or two, but I'll probably end up making myself at least a second home, if nothing else, still back on the West Coast. And Bend is ideal, just because it's where I grew up, it's where everybody I love is, all my friends and family.
We don't like you anymore.
Oh, good, perfect.
Well, I miss you, Joe.
Takes a lot of courage to pick up and go.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
congratulations.
So when are you
That is
back here, even just to visit? When are you back?
On the 9th of March.
Oh shit.
So
Okay.
I'll be there for a week.
Well, yeah, you got to come meet my kid then. You haven't met my kid yet.
They
Dude, I've
were-
only met him once. I want to come over and hang out.
You got to come
You
see
guys
how
are
much
like-
he's changed,
Dude, I want to see him so
We're
bad.
all getting tattoos on the 9th then? Oh no, the 9th I'll be in Portland. I'll
When
be
do you
in
get
Portland The 10th, 11th, or 10th or 11th.
I'm there for a week. I fly
You're
back
staying the
home
first
on
few days with Brooke
Sunday
and Adam,
the
though,
18th.
right? You're going to be in Redmond for the first few days.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay at Brooke's house Friday night because I get in at like 10:45, and her birthday is actually the night before.
Oh,
So I
nice.
said, let's go out and get some cocktails or something and just hang out. And so I'm gonna spend the night there in Redmond, and then I think Saturday night I'll be in Bend.
All right. I should be back Saturday night, I think. or
Oh,
Sun-
so that's
Sunday.
next weekend. Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, it's coming up.
What are you doing in Portland?
The 9th is they follow up with eye
Oh, it's
doctor.
in Portland.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then are you there through the weekend, or are you coming?
Yeah,
back?
so
Do we not have good enough doctors here or something?
no, not for my eye.
Okay.
No.
I'm just curious.
I'm like, no.
Yeah, not for the eye. So I got to go. I got an appointment on the 9th. We're gonna leave on the 8th. Stay the 8th, 9th in Salem,
With Hunter,
and come back on the 10th. I think.
you're gonna be
Or
back
11th.
here on the 10th, or you'll be back
10th
here
or
on the
11th.
11th.
I'll be back on the 10th or 11th. Night of
Who
the
are you
10th.
going over with? Just you and Jillian?
My mom and
Oh,
Jillian.
your mom. Okay.
Mom has a thing in Portland she's doing for community Bible study. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but she's got some conference to go to. So we're going to go to Salem, get hotels, take her to Portland, and drop her at her hotel where her conference is. Then we're going to spend Thursday night in Salem, and then Friday we'll go to my appointment. We'll pick Mom up and go to the appointment, then we'll drop Mom back off, go back to Salem, spend Friday night in Salem with Hunter and Ash, and then Saturday daytime with them, and then my mom's thing gets done at like 7 p.m. And I don't know if we'll want to stay one more night or drive at that point.
Cool.
Well, dude, if you need rides around anywhere or anything, let me know. And Joe, while you're in town, I'm gonna look and see. You're here the whole week of what, the 12th through the.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
might-
I'm there the 9th through the 18th.
I might take a bunch of time off. My boss told me to use up like 60 hours of PTO this month because it's gonna hit cap, and I need to use it before
Yeah.
it just stops accruing anymore.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. Hey, you should take some time off. I've got 3 hours of work I've got to be available for.
Okay.
Through the weekday, and I said I would do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I just need to be around the internet connection.
Word.
And
We don't have those.
but
Yet.
other than that, it'd be awesome to see you and get out and do some stuff. I gotta do taxes while I'm there and hit the DMV. But other than that, yeah, it'd be great if you were available.
Absolutely.
We've got a lot of stuff planned with Jen and Chris Krause and Dustin.
Oh, that's
That
good.
was pretty funny.
That's funny as shit, actually.
So I'm glad you'll be here, dude.
I literally had to shoo my sister out of the house to get you back on video. And she's like, man, tell him I love him, and I'm sorry, like, we're family.
I appreciate that, but you don't have to make any concessions for me. I would have just called it a night.
No.
No, we do have to make concessions for you because we demanded that you be a part of this.
I'm gonna die, Joe,
appreciate
and if you're not doing stuff that I want you to do, then you're betraying our friendship.
That means
I
you're
can
getting a
see how that
tattoo when
makes
you're here
sense.
next week.
So whatever I say goes, because I'm the dying man.
Joe's going to get the tattoo on the bottom of his foot.
I think you should get it on his
Eyelid.
face.
Eyeball
On my
tattoo.
butt cheek.
Fucking Tyson right here.
Yeah.
I think you all should get blacked out eyeball tattoos.
I think we should all get an eye removed.
I think
Tell
you
the
should
truth.
pop that contact thing out right now, and I'm going to put a Sharpie circle right in the middle of it, and we're going to put it back in, and you're going to take that eye patch off.
As a show of solidarity, let's all get an eye removed.
No.
No?
The patch.
You go first.
I want to take it out and put it in my ball sack so it
Brian,
looks like I have
Brian,
three balls.
Holy
Brian tried to wear a patch when we were in Vegas and he couldn't do it. He got
Brian wore a patch?
He tried.
He did. He put it on for a little while.
Tried.
But it
He's
was
like, I
bugging
can't
shit
do
out
it.
of him.
yeah, he couldn't do it.
That's funny. Yeah, dude.
So
I
it takes some
couldn't
getting
do it.
used
It's a
to.
little
that's for
different
sure.
when you have to.
It takes getting used to. Like I'm still like kick it off around the house and stuff.
I could give up my left one. I don't know. My left vision
I
sucks.
couldn't. Dude, I mean,
If you're having vision that's different from one eye to the next, you should check it because that's where my cancer started.
Oh, fuck.
Vision is different.
well, I
from one eye to
definitely
the other.
have that.
Oh, dude.
I
If
should
you
go
look
get
at my
that checked.
glasses, the glass in my left eye is like that thick.
My,
and it's like
my
this in my right
astigmatism
one.
in this eye
You
is
all
like
have-
much worse than
you
it
all
is
have
on
cancer.
this eye.
I might.
Well,
If I have cancer, it's in my prostate right now. I'll tell you what.
It's in
I gotta go to the
James's
doctor.
vagina.
We all will.
James has
Hey,
James has vaginal
35
cancer.
years old, prostate cancer.
Dude, I might, man. I'm not even joking. I left work early today to go to the doctor, and then I didn't go, but I probably
What?
should have.
Wait a minute. Did you actually have a doctor's appointment, or did you lie and say
No.
you were going to the doctor, but then you?
I was
didn't?
gonna go to urgent care, and I didn't.
Because of your prostate.
Prostate hurt.
Yeah, it's bad.
because of your,
Why does your prostate hurt,
I don't
dude?
know.
you
It's
should
all
get
inflamed,
you should get someone to
fucked up.
figure your brown.
Your prostate.
It feels like I have to piss really bad all day long.
How do you know
Diabetes.
that's your prostate?
Dude, it's because I went in for it about 3 months ago. It started hurting really bad. And they checked me out and they did all these scans and they're like, there's no problems with your bladder, your balls, anything
Do you still have a
else.
gallbladder?
I think
do.
James just found out how they check.
They thought maybe. They thought maybe my.
He's like,
appendix was
insurance
bursting.
covers this.
They thought maybe my appendix was bursting, and that wasn't the case. And they called it, oh, what the fuck is it?
Pink eye.
Prostatitis.
Prostatitis.
Sounds like
Prostatitis.
bullshit to me.
Which is literally the answer for anything that's a pain in your groin area that's
Yeah.
not
that
your balls,
they
your
can't figure
asshole,
out.
or your
Yeah,
dick.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Okay.
so
Huh.
anyway, it's probably my prostate.
So you got
And
some
now it's back again.
prostatitis that's been flaring up.
Yeah, it's like hemorrhoids, but
Yeah, you should get checked out.
somewhere behind my dick.
Somebody's gonna figure you out.
You got someone back here. You should have probe it.
Can you just check my prostate? That's really all
Come
I want.
Come on.
Just a prostate check between
Please.
friends.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
You're gonna have to have somebody finger your brown. That's all I'm saying.
It's not gay if it's
Didn't
medical.
they have to go through
right?
your butthole?
Dude,
I'm pretty sure,
so-
like when you got a physical
no.
in school, didn't they check your prostate
So-
through your ball sack? Like, up
No,
and
they
in?
checked for a hernia or something.
the end of the
through your
Vegas
ball
trip.
sack.
The end of the Vegas trip, I
Well,
ended
why
up in
didn't my
hospital.
doctor just like do this a lot?
Yeah, you had a weird doctor.
The end of the Vegas trip, I ended up in the hospital, and the guy said before they gave me pain meds, the doctor had to make sure I wasn't bleeding rectally, so he jammed his entire fucking fist in my butt.
It wasn't his fist.
I swear to God, man. He's like, I'm just gonna put a couple fingers in there and check.
He went,
And I'm like, okay,
like,
and,
what the
and
fuck,
then
fingers?
it was like the worst thing I'd ever felt in
Oh
my
my
life.
god.
Like he took his fist and just shoved it in there and just twisted it around a little
Did
bit.
he like?
He was like,
Are you being legit?
dude, it hurt so bad.
Oh,
I
So-
screamed like a girl.
When I was
damn.
when I
And
went
then
to
I
the
was like, give me
hospital,
fucking pain meds now.
when I went to the
Jesus.
hospital, we were in Vegas. I was there for like 3 hours.
Which one
Oh,
did
yeah.
I didn't do anything.
I forgot.
Sunrise.
What the fuck?
I just got the bill for that shit. $13,000 for the 3 hours that I was in the ER.
Shut up.
And my insurance paid $12,800 of it.
Was this the same trip?
Yeah, I left. I
See,
literally
you're
ripped.
all sick.
I
What
made the
did you
nurse
do?
come in and rip the IV out of my
had
arm
a kidney
because
stone.
I had been there for
Oh,
3
yeah,
hours and they
kidney
hadn't given me
stone.
pain
Those
meds,
are miserable.
and I hadn't seen a doctor. And I got so angry, the kidney stone passed while I was waiting for them to give me pain meds.
Oh,
Man.
So I had her come in and take the IV out, and I walked out of the hospital, and that visit cost me $13,000.
Well, that's good, man, because I just found out what it takes to get pain meds. It sounds like it's something you don't want to do.
yeah.
Unless you're in Colorado.
Yeah, they do that shit for free down there.
You know what's weird around here? There is a pot shop literally every block.
That's the
Find
same
one or
here.
two.
There's a shit ton of them in
Wait
Bend
till you
now,
come
too.
to Bend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, did you see where Canacopia is at? They opened one literally 2 doors down in the
Yeah.
same set of buildings.
Yeah. It's crazy. Well,
Speaking of which,
Do you want to talk about some video games and movies and shit? Or
I
Bloodborne.
don't know. We should probably wrap it up soon. I told Holly I'd be done by 7:30.
I finally played Horizon Zero Dawn from start to finish.
Dude, okay,
Amazing
so
fucking game. I was a little disappointed with the
second.
end, but
I actually started Horizon Zero Dawn, but I was going through like a video game lull at the time
Yeah.
because I played Assassin's Creed Origins. Dude, if you haven't played that
Did
game,
you like
have
it?
you ever played any of the Assassin's Creed games?
yes. So was never a fan until Black Flag. I thought was an
Okay.
amazing game.
Black Flag was like top 3 Assassin's Creed.
that was
games.
my favorite, and I've hated every other one I've played.
Assassin's Creed 2 was, in my opinion, the best one. Then Assassin's Creed Black Flag. But Assassin's Creed Origins is like in there.
Really?
I don't know where it ranks as far as those 3 goes, but it's fucking good. Now on top of that, they have added this mode. It's called Discovery Mode, and it really speaks to how accurate this game is to like the geography of the era, because you can activate Discovery Mode, and all you do is go to different areas of ancient Egypt, and you're like on a guided tour where they've just like explained to you what's happening. So you can go to like Alexandria back in the day and play as Caesar or whatever, and you're going
Cleopatra's
through.
there?
Yes,
Oh my gosh.
Cleopatra's in the game. So you can go on a guided tour of ancient Egypt, and I think there's something like 13 hours of dialogue that you can sit there and listen to.
Interesting.
That just tells you about the.
I'm gonna have to
entire
check that out.
game. Yeah, it's really cool. But anyway, I played that just whenever Dax was first born, and it was just like us. He was doing this thing where if he didn't feel you like putting pressure on him, he just screamed all the time. So we just always had to like have something around him. So I would just sit there in the recliner with my arm around him and just play video games for however long. And I played through that entire game in like 3 or 4 days.
Shit, yeah.
And oh dude, it was such a good game.
So that's when I was in Boise for work. We had this training class like 8 hours a day, and I didn't have a rental car or anything. So I was like, "Fuck it, I'm bringing my PlayStation with me." Grabbed Horizon out of Bryce's room. And was like, "I've never played this game." It won Game of the Year.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah, great
should
game.
try it out." And 3 days so I played it, or I guess Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, and then Wednesday I beat it finally. And I kind of skipped a lot of the side shit.
Sure.
If you wanted to spend time on the side stuff,
It's a big game.
there's
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
another
yeah.
40 hours worth of work on the side stuff. But the story alone, amazing story.
Sure.
I wanted to see it end differently is my only beef with the ending.
I didn't
But,
finish it, but I haven't finished it. But
You
but
should.
The
Especially the last 2 hours, probably, maybe 3 hours of gameplay is some of the best of the game, story-wise, I think. So,
yeah, I plan on finishing it, but I took a break just from gaming in general because I was so fucking burnt out from like playing Assassin's Creed Origins for so long, and then I went right into that and played it for a while, and then I quit. And now, like I was saying earlier, I've just been having this itch to play through a Souls game,
yeah,
like
Bloodborne or
Dark Souls, Bloodborne, whatever.
So Bloodborne's free, though, in next week.
Bloodborne, as of next Tuesday for PS Plus subscribers, is free.
Downloading
We
that
gotta get
shit.
Joe a PlayStation so he can play with
It is, in my opinion, one of the, if not the essential PS4 games.
Okay.
Like,
It's my favorite PS4.
here's
game outside of
the thing.
Warcraft, for sure.
So you haven't played any of those
Never
games,
played
right?
them, huh?
No Souls games, no nothing.
Nothing.
Neither had he. I talked him
so mad.
into getting Bloodborne was the first one he ever played. So I've played a lot of games with him.
Yeah.
I have never, ever seen him like rage at a game. I've never seen him rage at anything other than just being drunk and an idiot.
I murder people for fun.
This game turned him, dude. He was like, he was being irrational.
Joe's smiling like he's heard that before.
He was being irrational with himself. Like, I'm gonna figure out how to make them give me my fucking money back. Like, he was so mad at this game.
I'm so mad.
And I just kept telling him, you just have to figure it out. You have to figure out how to do the combat in this game. Once you do, it's going to be your favorite game that you've ever played. And what happened? It was your favorite fucking game you ever played once he figured it out. And then we put just hours and hours and hours into that game. And then Dark Souls 3. Yeah. And then end of May, a remaster of Dark Souls 1 is coming out for PS4, Xbox One, Switch.
Nice.
So it's going to be a whole thing.
Dude, I've invested a lot of time in the last few weeks into Fortnite. And
yeah. I've played some Fortnite.
When you could be playing Warframe.
I played the shit out of it, and I went 3 weeks of playing this game every night, maybe an hour or 2 hours. Mm-hmm. And I finally, like 4 days ago, won my very first solo match. 100 players.
You won.
Killed fucking everybody, won everybody.
Dude, is that not the
It
best
was the best feeling
you've
in the
ever had
world.
in your
I felt
life?
like I was a badass.
Yeah.
I, for 3 weeks, have had my ass kicked. Like, I make it usually into the top 10 somewhere most of the time.
Yeah.
There's times you land and you're fucking dead at like 91.
Yeah.
But I was getting pretty good at it, and it was pissing me off that I get down to like the last 6, the last 3.
Oh, yeah.
Last 2 a couple
that's
of times.
the worst, dude.
And then die.
That's the
And
worst.
I finally, just 4 days ago, I won my first match.
I've never won a Fortnite game.
Dude.
But I have won 2 PUBG games.
So, Joe, you've never played this shit. Just so you know, it's 100 people all dropped into a map, and it's survival. Like, you run around, grab a gun, or whatever you can find. And
it's last man standing.
Last man standing
out
wins.
of 100 people.
Out of 100 fucking
Hunger
players.
Games.
Yeah.
Is it live player or
Yes.
is
Yes.
it
Live players.
Yes.
Live real
100
people.
different players. Last man standing wins.
So you can play
Bragging
solo
rights, pretty
to where
much.
it's last person standing wins, or you can play
Or you can play a
duos
team.
where you have
Yeah,
a
yeah,
partner,
yeah.
and the 2 of you are the last one standing, or you can play squads with you have 4 people.
Yeah.
And I haven't won shit with duos or squads, but I did solo finally, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah, dude. I still haven't won a Fortnite game, but I won 2
PUBG.
PUBG games.
I need a computer that'll play PUBG. This one will, but I need a video card. I need to go buy like a 1050 Ti or a 1060.
Fortnite is a better game
You think so?
than PUBG.
Yeah.
See, I played PUBG on Brian's
looks
computer, and I
PUBG looks
loved it,
better.
but-
PUBG looks better, and it feels better when you first play it. But when you really play a lot of both games, Fortnite's a better game.
Yeah. Well, Fortnite has the build dynamic, which
but
PUBG doesn't.
It's mainly
but-
because PUBG is so glitchy. It's so like you can die in really bullshit ways in that game that you can't die in Fortnite.
Yeah.
In those.
Well,
those
I was
ways.
reading a thing the other day, and they're like, the thing most people do with PUBG is turn their graphics down as far as they can.
Exactly.
Because it takes away all the grass
Yeah,
and shit.
because
So
you can
where
be-
usually you'd be hiding in the
Yeah.
grass to sneak up on somebody,
Yeah.
somebody with shit graphics card has no grass showing,
your
it, so you're just
screen-
laying in a
on your
fucking flat
screen-
piece of something.
On your screen, you're under a bush and you can barely see through it, but on their screen, there's just a stick
And
in
you're
front of
laying
your body.
there.
Yeah, it's horseshit. Yeah,
See,
it's
Joe, do
terrible.
you actually watch TV or do you play games?
I don't play games, but I don't watch a whole lot of TV either. I kind of watch a couple things here and there,
Oh,
but
dude. It's
keep
literally
myself
7
busy
to the end
work
is the
right
best
now.
episodes.
The company I work for is a mid-sized roofing company. In Denver area, and Denver is constantly being bombarded with hail.
What's up?
So,
We're still taping?
Yeah.
like this last year, they had
Yeah,
the
and
biggest
we can wrap
hailstorm
up
in
here,
history.
Wrap it up.
It did a couple
We should
hundred
wait for Blake to
thousand
come back
houses,
real quick.
but like
Oh my gosh.
billions of dollars in damage. So we just go in, replace roofs, siding, windows, stuff like that, and I'm the general manager, so I oversee all of the operations, logistics, and stuff like that.
Do they require? They must require fire suppressant kind of roofing and stuff like that. But does the hail actually break it? Is it?
So what it depends on the, like, if it's regular shingles, the shingles you have on your house are the same stuff that's going on here. If you have State Farm, they require a more heavy-duty shingle, but other than that, it's pretty straightforward stuff. But what mostly happens is the hailstones knock off the granules, the colored stones that are on the roof, and when those get knocked off, that compromises its ability to do its job and protect it. And so it's a lot of times it's mostly the damage, the actual damage that the house sustains is usually to like the side elevations, like the siding or the windows will get busted out.
That idiot doesn't take a pay cut.
That's more likely what happens.
I admit I didn't
Nobody's gonna
realize
pay him. What do
Denver
you think
had
he should make?
hail like that,
Who's
but I
that?
guess when you're a mile up there,
Football.
you're
Yeah, it's
in the
pretty
Rockies.
common.
Yeah.
I don't know who they're
Every
who
year
they
they'll
could
get
trade
2
him
or
for,
3 big storms that'll do
I mean, the
damage
guy-
like that within the greater Denver area.
though. I got very strong opinions about that.
Well, I was talking to Paco. I think we're gonna wrap this shit up for the night.
Yeah, let's
So
wrap it up.
Joe, have you been to the zoo? What's the
I haven't.
towns? The south of Denver.
Denver's got an awesome
I
zoo.
haven't been there, but I heard that it's like the best zoo in the country. Somebody said.
Colorado. No, what's it called?
San Diego Zoo is the best
No.
zoo in the country.
That's what I
What's it called? The town south of Denver. There's an incredible zoo.
Is it
Colorado,
in Centennial?
Radiator Springs.
Colorado Springs. Colorado Springs.
Oh,
Oh, that's where
Colorado
That's
go
where my
there.
sister lives.
Go there.
They
The
have a zoo.
zoo is on this steep hillside. So when you look through, instead of way off in the distance, everything's right in front of you.
Huh.
Go.
Huh.
I'll
I'm-
be.
You got
I'm
kids
actually
there,
going to be there tomorrow evening. I'm going to go stay out in Colorado Springs where my sister lives.
and you could meet
Stay
a
with them for
lot
the
of
weekend, 'cause
a lot of
she's
single
got 2
women go to the
boys.
zoo.
Yeah.
That's
Or
a weird-
you
I'm
you
just
can meet a
saying.
lot of single mothers at the zoo, Joe. Joe, we all know
Joe's
how much
made
you
a lot
love
of single
children.
mothers. He doesn't fuck them after they have kids.
You got to go to the zoo. It's a great zoo.
Dude, it was great having you
I
on,
think I
Joe.
might actually check that out this weekend because I'm
no,
just going out there to
never
hang
mind,
out
fuck
with kids. And
Yeah,
take them to
you'd
do
love
some
it.
fun.
They
just
would
gonna
love
fucking hang
that
out.
zoo. It's amazing zoo.
All right, Joe. So you'll be here next weekend.
Yeah, so I get there Friday night, so I'll probably
hang out
see you
Friday.
guys Saturday sometime if you're available.
Tattoos and podcasts.
Yeah, dude. Hit me up. I'm off Fridays, so I'll be whatever time
We
you're
gotta
getting
get Joe
in
a face
Friday.
tattoo.
I'll be off. And then yeah, we got to get that tattoo on your face next weekend. Yeah, right there.
Maybe just like right in the middle.
No, it's got to be right here.
No.
I think we should get a couple of teardrops.
AR-15
Teardrops
is right here.
too. Yeah.
Are you just gonna do yours all black, or do you want to do it color gold? And
I don't know,
Triforce
dude.
or
I don't
something?
know. I'm just thinking like that design, but
I'm gonna show Corey
whatever.
that and tell him to
The hand
either
makes
just black
sense
or
the way
show
it is,
something
dude.
fucking cool with it too.
The Triforce could be yellow.
Yeah,
Think
the
your
Triforce should
grandkids.
be
Think your
yellow.
grandkids. They're gonna go. What the hell?
I'm gonna get the Lotus.
Definitely
on this
gonna get it right here though. Like
I'm gonna-
this is the area.
one, too.
right?
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think I'm gonna get it here, and then I'll get the Lotus on this arm here. At the same time, if I
By
can.
the time we're old enough to have grandkids around, it'll be everybody our age has gone crazy with tattoos. You'll be weird if you don't have one.
Yeah, I kind
That's
of. I'm
actually
worried
true.
about that. I'm
The
worried.
the other old folks will beat me up if I don't. have
And
any
you know,
tattoos.
at
You
that
won't fit in.
stage, people without tattoos are going to be looked at as remarkably
As
beautiful.
pariahs of
We
some-
should
No,
get it
they're
in
gonna
like
go,
Oh,
they're gonna go.
I
Look
like the
how
way- I
unique.
like the way-
Look how beautiful.
We should get it in the most painful
Natural.
spot you can get one, like right on your
Artist
elbow
on your
or like
testicle.
under your
right in the armpit. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
On your testicles.
Maybe knuckles. Maybe we should do some knuckle.
My
some
name's
knuckle
Buck. I
tattoos.
like to fuck.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
All right,
Joe.
we're gonna take off for the night, Joseph.
Love
We'll
you
see
guys.
you in a week.
Greg, it was great to see you, man.
Love you,
Yep,
brother.
See you.
Love you, dude.
everybody.
See you next
Have a
weekend.
good night.
Take care, guys.
Fun, you guys.